Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Major General John J. Broadmeadow, Commanding General, Marine Corps Installations Command, welcome to today's ceremony, at which Brigadier General Thomas D. Weidley will relinquish his command of Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, to Colonel Michael L. Scalise. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation being offered by the Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base
Camp Lejeune, to Colonel Scalise. We thank you, Lord, for blessing the Marines and sailors of this installation with many great achievements under the leadership of General Weidley. May your presence, peace, and care accompany him and his family. We dedicate ourselves to serve you, our families, and this great nation. This I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Present-day reviews in the Marine Corps have their basis in both history and tradition. The mass formation of troops on one long line at close interval made possible the massing of firepower from muzzle-loaded muskets of yesterday. The line of battle was just that, a line of 2 or 3 ranks, and looked much like the parade formation you will see today. The adjutant forms the line for battle. Assembled before you are the MCIEAST Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune. Also operates a training base that promotes the combat readiness of the operating forces and the missions of other tenant commands by providing training venues, facilities, services, and support in order to be responsive to the needs of Marines, sailors, and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the march on of the colors and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
March on the colors! Forward! March!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Halt the colors! Forward! March! Down off! Go, go! Sir, the parade is formed. Take your post, sir. There, there! Huh! What? Huh! I go there! Huh! What? Huh! Left shoulder! Huh! What? Huh! There, there! Huh! Receive the report, sir. Report!
Headquarters and support battalion, all present. Marine Corps Air Station New River, all present. Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, all present. Marine Corps Air Station Buford, all present. Marine Corps Logistics Base Albany and Blunt Island Command, all present. Publish the order. Attention to orders! Headquarters! Marine Corps Installation East! Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, North Carolina! 2017! The command duty officer today is First Lieutenant Pendleton. The command duty officer of tomorrow is Captain Jackson. By order of T.C. Weidley, Brigadier General, United States Marine Corps, CAMLEJ, officers, sentence, march.
The movement, now taking place, has origins from the ancient battlefield, when a unit was formed in line of battle. Prior to combat, the commander called together his officers to issue final instructions, words of encouragement, and commit his warriors to battle. Now entering the ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to Major General Broadmeadow, and remain standing for honors to Brigadier General Weidley.
Present!
Now entering the reviewing area is Brigadier General Weidley, Commanding General, Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to Brigadier General Weidley.
Present! Back! Present! Halt! Back! Out there! Halt! Out there! Halt!
Please be seated. Now joining Commander. The transfer of the battle standard during the ceremony symbolizes the relinquishment of responsibility, authority, and accountability for the command by the outgoing commander. The acceptance of the battle standard by Colonel Scalise confirms his total commitment to the Marines and sailors he now serves. Delivering the colors to the
Present! Halt!
Thomas D. Weidley. Subject, relinquishment of command. Effective 0900, June 2nd, 2017. You will relinquish command of Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune. You will report to 1st Marine Aircraft Wing, 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force for duty. Signed, Robert B. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. From Commandant of the Marine Corps to Colonel Michael L. Scalise. Subject, assumption of command. Effective 0900, June 2nd, 2017. You will assume command of Marine Corps Installations East, Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune. Signed, Robert B. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Services between our installations and their surrounding communities, resulting in greater cooperation by all involved. Your initiative to internally reorganize MCIEAST has facilitated improved support to resident operating force and tenant commands. Under your leadership, MCIEAST deservedly received the Commander-in-Chief's Award for Installation Excellence in fiscal year 16. The Marine Corps is grateful to you and Jill for your leadership, as well as everything you do for our Marines, sailors, and their families. We wish you the very best in your next assignment as Commanding General of 1st Marine Aircraft Wing. For Colonel Scalise, Mike, as you take the helm of Marine Corps Installations East, know that you have my total trust and confidence. I know you will bring the same outstanding leadership to MCIEAST that you've demonstrated throughout your career. Congratulations and best wishes to you and Ann as you take responsibility for MCIEAST's daily operations. Semper Fidelis, Robert B. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Broadmeadow.
And these two gentlemen really kind of set the tone, along with Wheel's other predecessors out there, for what today has matured into a very important concept. And that's this unified command, this regional command that we're here to transfer authority of today. And this is an important ceremony in that regard, because they're responsible for an awful lot of things. Let me just take 1 second to turn and say, Marines, you look fantastic. Really, really well done. Love the band. Most of you know I'm a West Coast guy. The Marine Corps kept me out there for most of my career, and so to hear some different songs and to hear Carolina played was really a pretty special thing for me. So I very much appreciate it. One of the things I want you to understand, though, is this is just a small representation of what this region's all about. While they represent all the bases and stations that are part of this region, there's 11,000 people that are part of this command. Uniformed Marines, civilian Marines, contractors, non-appropriated fund folks that make this region go. And they do an awful lot to make sure that our Marine sailors and their families are taken care of, and that our Marines are prepared to go to war when our nation needs it. That's what they represent. So if I could, just get a round of applause for all those hard charges. General Weidley's got his own metrics for how he measures things. Mine are a little different than his. Mine are a little bit shorter, but we'll use mine today as kind of the metric for how the command's done. I'm the boss, I get to use mine. So, first thing I measure out here is how we're doing for the operating forces. That's our first and foremost responsibility, to make sure that our bases and stations and everything that we do on these platforms are enabling the readiness and the ability of our warriors to go into combat at a moment's notice. That's my first metric, that's our always metric, and that's the thing that I hold our commanders most accountable to. And General Weidley and his base and station commanders and the commanders here on Camp Lejeune have exceeded that in every level of expectation. I got to talk to my good friend, Major General John Love, before this today, and I said, so how are things going? And I will tell you, he said everything that I needed. He was, that General Weidley and his team had met up with. And I know that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration because we can't do everything. But I will tell you that the reputation that MCIEAST has in providing these platforms is unparalleled. You look at just the training ranges and how they've evolved out here. Getting ready to bring on Townsend Bombing Range is going to open up capabilities that don't exist anywhere else for the F-35. Integrating in the F-35 hangars into all of our bases and stations. Revolutionary new things that we're doing out on the training ranges out here. The way that those barracks are taken care of, the way that our headquarters are evolving, the comm infrastructure. This is something that we've had to deal with an awful lot here over the last few weeks. As you all have heard, ransomware has attacked our computer systems. Well, they didn't attack ours, primarily because of the work that the region out here and others, including Mark IV Cyber Command, have done to make sure that our installations are ready and protected and capable of supporting those operating forces. So that first metric, knocking it out of the park. My second metric, create quality communities for our Marine sailors and their families. I will tell you, I think for those of you that have been here for a long time, for those of you that may be new to this base and the bases that make up MCIEAST, you find out that this is a pretty wonderful place to live. That by any stretch, these are wonderful communities. That we've got great housing. I will tell you that General Weidley's led the charge in integrating our Marine Corps community service efforts across the board. He doesn't just do it here for MCIEAST, he's also the head of the budget committee for MCCS. So he's shaping the entire program across the Marine Corps. And that's reflected in the quality of the programs that we have in teaming with our MCCS partners, our Marine and Family Program partners. MCIEAST sets the standards for how we're taking care of our Marine sailors and their families. Knocking it out of the park in my second one. My third one is have a culture of innovation. We're on the cusp of some big changes happening out here. Technology is quickly outpacing many of the capabilities that we have. In order to run a smart city, which is what this base really needs to be, is a very smart 21st century city, it takes somebody that is willing to foster a sense of innovation and a readiness to adopt all of these changes that are coming up. Well, the folks out here in MCIEAST are leading that charge. You heard the Commandant talk about the infrastructure reset strategy. He talks to me about that an awful lot. I was a very fortunate recipient of a lot of work that was done on that infrastructure reset strategy by General Weidley as he sat in my job out here. He took over as there was a gap, and this infrastructure reset strategy was the first thing that the Commandant hit me with when I got on board. He said, John, you need to make sure this gets done. And the guy that teed it all up is the guy that we're talking about today. More importantly, this region and the bases and stations in this region are the ones that are leading the charge in making sure that that strategy is being implemented. But aside from that, that near term, got to get it done now, make sure that we're on top of all these changes that are going on. General Weidley's also led the charge in another way, and thinking real deep about where we need to be in the future. You know, the Commandant set Marine Corps Force 2025 as the metrics. He's looking out a number of years. You know, we started this 2 years ago, looking out 10 years. You think, well, a decade's deep. Wheels blew him away. He went to 2040. And he put together and presented me a comprehensive plan that lays out a vision for how we make our bases and stations capable, not just today with our infrastructure reset strategy, but poised to make sure that we're continuing to support the operating forces, making sure that TUMEF, making sure that MARSOC, making sure that all of our organizations that operate off of our West Coast bases and stations have what they need to be prepared to do what we have to do in our nation's defense. He led that charge. As importantly, he was an integrator in the broader community. He and his wife Jill became a real member of this community, and they took this base and these bases and stations that make up this region, and they integrated into this broader community, which is a fabulous place to be. The folks around here, Dr. Wingo, I know you're out here somewhere too. I got to tell you, as a West Coast Marine, you're infamous out there as well for all the things that you do, but representative of the ties with the local community. You know, that Wheels and Jill have made sure that our bases and stations are part of this wonderful part of this country, part of the culture that supports those young men and women in a fantastic way. And that's important, because we have to be part of this broader community out here. And I applaud them for what they've done to make sure that we're there. So Mike, you're inheriting a lot of really good stuff. You know, your former boss has knocked it out of the park. You've been a big part of that as well. But I have full confidence that you and Ann are ready to take this challenge on. I look back pretty fondly on the times that you were supporting Logistics Command out of Barstow and all the things that you did out there. I used to love going out there and spending time with you. I know that you're well poised and well prepped and ready to take on this challenge. You have my full confidence out there. Your job is to make sure we don't slip. And in fact, I'd like to see you bring it a little bit higher too if you can. I know you've got some big shoes to fill. Fantastic out there. Zoe, Max, you guys are going to love Okinawa. It's a great place to be. A little bit different from here, but you're going to love it. Thank you for pulling up roots once again, going off to an unknown place, having to take on new challenges and all the rest. So you exemplify what a Marine family is all about. And I appreciate the support that you've given to your dad as he's taken on the big challenge that's here, and all that you do. You are an important part of this team. You have done everything that we've asked of you and more. And I know that there's an awful lot of people in this audience today that are going to miss you tremendously. Wheels, you know what I think about you? You know, I think you've knocked it out of the park. We first worked together back on the telephone when I was on a Bright Star in 2001, right after 9/11, and then Colonel Weidley, Major Weidley back then, was integral in making sure that while we were there, we were able to reshape different commands that we had out there, move them around a different way. And I will tell you, I threw an awful lot on his shoulders back then, and impressed the heck out of me with his ability to calmly take it all on and move out. You've done the same thing here. You've taken on a huge challenge and made it look like it wasn't a challenge. You made it look like this was what you were meant to do. But I know that you're going on to do what you really want to do, and that's command the Marine Aircraft Wing. And I can't think of anything better to follow on from this fantastic board than anyone like that. Marine Corps has got it all right. Back-to-back commands, back-to-back-to-back commands. It's exactly the right thing that we need to be doing for you. Thank you for your leadership of all of your Marine sailors and civilian Marines. Thanks for taking care of our Marine sailors and their families. Well done, Central Park.
Well, now I don't have anything left to say, sir. You've said it all for me. So, but I do want to obviously acknowledge the band as well. Chief Warrant Officer Davis, General Love. I'm not exactly sure what happens when a Marine joins the 2nd Marine Division Band, but I think one of the first things that you do at INDOC is you inject them with excellence. Because every time I see them, they're absolutely fantastic. So again, please, another round of applause for Chief Warrant Officer Davis and the band. And then again, the Marines you see out in front, as General Broadmeadow said, they represent, almost 11,000, Marine sailors and civilian Marines, contractors, etc. And I know there's a lot of sweat dripping down their back right now because it's hot out there. They've been working all week. So again, another round of applause to motivate them for the next few minutes. Look fantastic. General McKissick, General Conan, again, thank you for coming out today. I know we've got all the MEF leaderships here. We'll get to see General Miller hopefully a little bit later today. But again, thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. We've got a number of community leaders, elected officials that are with us here today. We've got the entire MCIE staff and your spouses. Again, thank you for coming out today. We've got our senior enlisted, sergeants majors, command master chiefs, our tenant leadership is out here with us today. And then we've got a great group of educators, both college and base and community educators that are also here today, because that's been certainly something that Jill and I have focused on over the last couple of years. So again, thank you all for coming out today. I think when I took over 2 years ago, it was probably just like General Castelvi when he took the reins here, and much like General Jensen when he took the reins, and General Dickerson when he came, right? We were all consumers of the base services, and we were consumers of training ranges and venues and capabilities, right? We weren't necessarily on the delivery side of the house. There's nothing in the Marine Corps that raises you up and gives you multiple tours to prepare you to be an installation commander or to be a regional commander. So I think I did much like what they did, and I said, okay, I put myself in the shoes of one of General Love's corporals, let's say, right? And what do I want to get out of the installation? I wanted to, as I prepare to go into harm's way, I want to make sure I have access to the best possible ranges that are available. I want to make sure I have access to simulators. I want to make sure I have access to urban combat facilities. I want to make sure I have access to all those things necessary to prepare me to go into harm's way. I want to have access to world-class fitness centers. I want to have access to great chow and chow halls. I want to have access to recreational capabilities that allow me to unwind, in between my PTP events and those types of things. And then when I get downrange, when I deploy downrange, I don't necessarily want to have to think about the base anymore. I don't want to have to think about Camp Lejeune, right? Because again, I want to be confident in what the base is able to provide my family. They're providing me great schools. They're providing me a house where my family can thrive. They're providing services, where my family can continue to progress, take care of one another, etc. Communities to live in that, again, take care of one another, so you don't have to think about the installation when I deploy. So it's with that mindset and that framework that we, again, approached the last 2 years. And I think, again, as General Broadmeadow alluded to, we've had some successes along the way, and keeping that mindset all the time. And that's everything. That's the lens we look through. We've had some great successes, as General Broadmeadow alluded to, in the areas of infrastructure reset. Again, being able to lead in that effort is going to provide, again, a world-class series of facilities here at the installation. It's a long project, and all the commanders, again, I think understand what we're going to do with that effort. I mean, just even look at this year, right? We're going to demolish 1.3 million square feet. 170 facilities are going to go away this fiscal year, right? We're going to save about $6.8 million when we get rid of those old and aging facilities. We're going to revamp barracks, right? We were on a path to revamp one barracks, just remodel one barracks every 42 years up until the infrastructure reset took over. This year, we're going to do 9 barracks. Okay, so there is so much goodness out of this particular effort, and the staff at MCIEAST in particular is all in, and they are working hand in glove with our MSCs to make sure that they have the things that they need to be able to continue to move forward in the infrastructure reset realm. So all kinds of successes. The partnership program, again, is one of the things I'm very, very proud of, our ability to link with the community. We've had great partnerships with the community previously, but this just allowed us an opportunity to reinvigorate those things using intergovernmental service agreements and those types of things to really solidify capabilities and generate efficiencies on both sides of the fence line. So just a number of initiatives we're able to bring forward. But I will tell you that ultimately the center of gravity for everything we do at MCI East and Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune is the people, right? It's the people. I mean, that's the hub of all power for us, is our people. And that starts with our commanders, and you see a couple of them in front of you here. Colonel Seagraves leading H&S Battalion has been an absolute change agent, changing the way we do business at within the staff and at our subordinate supporting elements within the battalion. Just absolutely fantastic, and we're again being able to achieve greater efficiencies, and that impacts absolutely each and every Marine on the installation. Colonel Ferry out there leading the Cherry Point, doing absolutely outstanding work. Colonel Burton leading New River, and then you see representation Marines out here. Our Marine Corps Support Facility at Blunt Island, which is led by Colonel Brian Hughes, could not be here today, doing tremendous work down there in terms of the MPF program and sustaining that very small installation down in Jacksonville, Florida. And then we have two other, what I would call crisis response commanders at Pete Buck at Beaufort and Jim Carroll at Marine Corps Logistics Base Albany. And why do I call them crisis response commanders? Because over the last year, each of their installations has been devastated by weather in different ways. Hurricane Matthew came through and completely devastated Beaufort as well as Paris Island, and they were the ones that were on scene doing the recovery options, addressing the crisis. And then Jim Carroll and his team at in Albany at EF3 tornado come through the base, through half of it all the way into downtown and the maintenance area of the base, creating all kinds of damage, about $100 million worth of damage. Thankfully, nobody was injured, but a lot of buildings and structures lost and a lot of work to be done. And they did a tremendous job getting back up on speed for General Crenshaw and his logistics command team. So, again, the center of gravity is the people, the staff. And again, I've talked to the staff already this week. I don't think there's any better staff. You are the continuity that keeps the installations running, that keeps the region running day in and day out. There are no more professional civilian Marines and active duty reserve Marines that I've been able to serve with. So again, for the civilian Marines, I know I've told you, you've completely changed my thoughts and my expectations of civilian Marines. So I feel sorry for those that I work with in the future, because you set such a high bar for me. But absolutely a phenomenal job, innovative. They'll work, as hard as the day is long. They don't care about PDs. Every one of them. That's from a, waste truck driver on board the installation to our MCIEAST, assistant chief of staff. Every one of them understands the mission and gets things done. So again, it's been my absolute pleasure to serve with all of you. A couple of thank yous, and I'll get off the stage. First of all, again, Marcelo, and I'll tell General Miller later today, he's been an absolute partner in this relationship, right? I know full well that he is the supported commander, but quite often he's made me feel like the supported commander, just because of the way he does business and the way he's partnered with us at the installation to, again, achieve all the things we wanted to do within the installation and within the MEF. So please tell him thank you, and again, I'll personally thank him later today. General Conant, one of my mentors, when I was a group commander, he was my wing commander. Him and Bev have absolutely set the standard that Joe and I continue to follow to this day. So thank you for being here, sir and ma'am. It's great to see you again. I have a lot of scars on my neck from the leash that General Conant used to give me. And again, I've got some fresh scars from General Hudson and General Broadmeadow as well, right? Great commanders, great leaders allow you the opportunity to kind of get out on that leash, kind of free rein a little bit and make things happen. Every once in a while, they give a tug on that thing and pull you back in. And General Broadmeadow, you as well as Cricket, please relay to General Hudson. Have allowed me that opportunity to expand my leadership and be able to do some things and kind of grit your teeth and hold back, and then when necessary, tug on that leash and come back in our line. So again, I appreciate the opportunity, sir. Absolutely, it's been fantastic. A lot of family members with us today. My brother and his wife, Todd and Diane, came up from Florida. My mom's here. Thank you for coming as well, Mom. I know you're full well. You're the reason why I'm standing out here today. My family, my 3 children, Max, Zoe, and Lexi. Your mom and I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of you. Turned out to be great kids, and we look forward to the next chapter in a foreign land together. And Jill, Jill is my absolute center of gravity. I think, her schedule is typically busier than mine. She is out and about doing things, whether that's, working in the education side of the house, or whether that's, taking care of, different spousal clubs and organizations. Just phenomenal. So thank you for all you do for our Marine sailors, civilian Marines, and family members. Something that actually absolutely makes a difference. And finally, again, I'd just like to thank all of you for supporting the installation. We've, in particular, the community. The community here is, again, I've told you this 100 times if I've said it once. There is nothing like the community here in Camp Lejeune, Jacksonville, Onslow, and the surrounding communities around our North Carolina installations. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I have spent a lot of time as well, sir, on the West Coast, and I will tell you, I don't think it's anything like the communities here. Your ability to give back, I mean, it's like a huge family, right? And there's all kinds of uncles and brothers and aunts and nieces and all that stuff. And that's what you make the Marines feel like here. There's a family outside the fence line. I mean, you take in hundreds of Marines every Thanksgiving and give them a meal that can't make it home for Thanksgiving. You cook 250 turkeys and take them out to the field to Marines from SOI who are in the field during holidays. You bring Marines into your home. There's nothing you won't do for the Marines and sailors of this installation, their families, and it's been absolutely a pleasure to watch you operate, and it's a pleasure to be a part of it. And again, I thank you for your continued support of our Marine sailors and their family members. Mike, you're going to do a great job. Mike Scalise has been a part of all the successes that have happened here on this installation for the last 2 years. In particular, the last year as a deputy. There's nobody better to fill this period of time than you. I know you're going to do great things. You and Ann are a tremendous team. And the installation, sir, it's going to go on an exponential increase here in the next couple of months. So, Mike, thanks for taking on this challenge, and I know there's lots of opportunities ahead for you and Ann. You're going to do absolutely phenomenal. So, again, it's been my honor and privilege to be a part of this, 76-year, historic, installation in the Marine Corps. To have a little tiny slice in that installation's history. Camp Lejeune is a very, very special place, and for those of you that have served here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So again, thank you, everybody, and Mike, over to you for a couple of words.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. General officers, distinguished citizens from the Jacksonville and Onslow County area, I greatly appreciate your attendees. Commanders, sergeants, majors, friends of MCIEAST, today it is a beautiful day in North Carolina, and I am very honored and privileged to be a part of this ceremony. This is a big day for Ann and I look forward to continuing to press with the MCIEAST mission and that groundwork that has been laid by General Weidley. 2 years ago, when General Weidley arrived on deck, he set the base plate on MCIEAST, not only for Camp Lejeune, but for the region as a whole. And he did that through his means, ways, and ends commander's guidance. And the commanders and the staff took that guidance and ran with it in order to ensure that his guidance was met. And simply stated, what his direction was throughout this whole document was that we would establish, maintain those world-class facilities, whether those were training ranges, family programs, the list goes on, all vectored towards the warfighter. And it is my pledge that guidance be continued, that laser focus to the warfighter and assisting them in maintaining their readiness is the mission of what MCIEAST is going to be to the near future. So again, that is my pledge. General Weidley, sir, it has been a pleasure working with you for the last 2 years. It's been a pleasure watching you in action. And just when an old colonel thinks that he knows the answer to everything, General Weidley just says something. Here it is. It's generally one of those things like options. Why didn't we? But we press forward, and again, we established who we are with the warfighter, as well as higher headquarters. I can't say enough about the mentorship you've given to me, and that team, the example that you and Jill have had for this installation over the last 2 years. Again, I'm speaking for everyone on that, not just for Mike Scalise. So it's going to feel wonderful for you, so good luck on that. General Broadbell, sir, I've got your guidance. It's clear to me. I understand the direction that you want this organization writ large to go. I appreciate your comments and faith that you're putting in me, and I won't let you down. You have that. You have my comment. Can't help but thank the 2nd Marine Division band. Again, they add that panache. Without them, we don't know what we do without them. And the Marines work hard, and it shows that you've got a group of warfighters out there that again are laser focused towards what that warfighter needs aboard this installation, as well as examples of what you see throughout MCIE. So again, they've just done a superb job, and I'm proud to be a part of that organization. Finally, to my lovely bride Ann, sir, there, sweetheart. Guess what? You know I'm gonna, yes, sir, ma'am, whatever the appropriate word is. But at the end of the day, you know, you've always been there for me. I'm going to ask for a little bit more. I'm going to ask for your support. No doubt it's going to be there, and a little bit of sense of humor associated with that. And the next few months are just going to be great. So I really appreciate everyone's attendance here today.
Lieutenant Colonel Scott Trent. The Color Company is commanded by Sergeant Justin Brown. Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point is commanded by Colonel Todd Ferry. Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort is commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Sean Wilson. Marine Corps Logistics Base Albany at Blunt Island Command is commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Dale Cruz.